All right, so now let's take a look at the charger itself. So it can charge two batteries. Here's one set of clips and here's the other one. And they correspond to A and B here. You can always switch between A and B, hitting this button here. Pretty straightforward. There is an instruction manual for this charger, and it can do many things, many different batteries. And so it's a little bit complex, but we'll show you here how it works. First thing is check some of the essential programming sections here, even though we'll have set them at Desert Star already for. So hit the program. Now see how it goes through different chemistries. But what I'm looking for is system settings. Now I'm going to hit enter. And now I'm going to find a couple of important settings for this. This is a safety timer. It's switched off. So if that's on, it would time out after some period of time. But because the batteries that we use are pretty big and we charge them on purpose fairly slow, you want to have the safety timer off. If I wanted to change any of these settings, I can just hit enter. And now it's the off is blinking. I can press this plus and minus here. All right. When I like the setting, I go here 120 minutes, doesn't really matter since it's switched off. And now this is done.
Capacity cutoff.
Same for capacity cutoff. This one we left on. Our biggest battery pack is 45,000 milliamp hours, and we set it to that. The maximum it can actually accept is 50,000 milliamp hours. So if it tries to put more than that into the battery, that shouldn't really be possible. Then it switches off as a safety feature. So leave that on, 45,000. Let's look at some of the other settings. Here's a temperature cutoff at 50 degrees Celsius. That seems reasonable. Rest time, charge, discharge. You can leave these things just as they are. All right, and then once I'm just happy with my programming, I hacked my chemistry now. Lithium polymer batteries, that's what we have here. So you want to leave it in that chemistry. It's very important to have the lipo chemistry. And I think now I can just hit this button and now we are out of programming mode. Notice now that the charger can perform several different functions. Here's discharge, charge, fast charge, storage. And so the two that you need are charge and discharge, right? That's what you'll be using. In order to start charging, you first have to hook up a battery, and it's fairly simple. So here I have one of my battery packs, and it has a label minus and plus. Don't worry if you get it wrong. The charger will let you know. So nothing bad will happen there. It just won't work, but it will let you know. And then we have these magnet things here. I have to do that with one hand now because I'm holding the phone with my other hand. And I just take the negative side now. Let's see if I can do that. See how it jumps right onto the exposed negative surface here. So we're good here. And then on the positive side, here, there we go. And now I can decide what I want to do. Typically, it's a good idea to figure out how much capacity there's really in each battery. This one is supposed to have really 44.1 ampere hours, and that's from the manufacturer's data sheet, but we found it's actually somewhat less, somewhere between 42 ampere hours. So if this was a new battery, what I might want to do first, if I just received it from Desert Star, I would say, well, I'm going to get it to a defined state, so I'm going to use the discharge function first. Discharge whatever energy is left in there, and then I'm going to charge it again and actually see how much capacity I get. So again, that's very important if you want to make sure that you're going to get the recording endurance that you need, right? So, all right, we're now in discharge mode on the first battery. I'm going to hit start.
Select current.
And it asks me for the current, the discharge current. And the maximum discharge current it can do is 2 amperes, see? Then it goes back to 0.1. All right, so I'm going to go for 2 amperes.
Select cells.
How many cells? This is how many in series. There are 9 cells in here, but they're all in parallel. So it's one series, 1S. Very important. So you will leave it at 1S like this.
Press and hold enter button to start.
I'll enter it.
Press start to confirm. Stop to cancel.
Okay. And now we can see that the discharge current now at 0.5 amps is going to ramp up to 2 amps. Okay, now we are 2 amps, and here you can see how many milliamp hours has already been taken out of the battery. Remember, there is 44.1 ampere hours in a full battery, 44,100 milliamp hours therefore. And how long would that take at a 2 ampere discharge rate? Well, 44.1 ampere hours divided by 2, it would take 22 hours if the battery was completely full to discharge it. So it will take a while. So you would just sit here and let it do its thing. So now it's going to be at the discharged state, and I don't want to wait 22 hours, so I'm just going to stop this one here. But let's assume it was now fully discharged, and now I'm going to do a charge cycle, a monitor charge cycle. So I'm going to go to charge, I hit enter. Here's the thing to remember, we want a charge current of 5 ampere. This thing can actually do 10 amperes, but we have tested it out with 5 amperes and it reduces the energy loss in the wiring inside the battery pack. So we believe 5 ampere is a good amount of charge current to go with, but be aware how long it will take to charge it, right? 44 ampere hours divided by 5 ampere, that would be, just almost like 9 hours or something like that. And you will really see it takes longer because once it's mostly charged, it goes into sort of a lower current charge termination phase, and you might be at 15 hours rather than 10 hours. So keep that in mind as you're planning for a mission here. So I'm going to stay with 5 ampere.
Select cells.
Again, 1 cell in series.
Press and hold enter button to start.
Now I'm pressing that.
Press start to confirm. Stop to cancel.
Okay. And now we are at 5 ampere charge current. You can see the voltage on the battery is right now 3.74 volts. Once it hits 4.2 volts, it will go into a mode where you will see the current slowly going down, 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 down. And I think at 0.2 amps, it finally cuts it off. It says, all right, I'm fully topped off now. So that's how that goes. And you could hook up a second battery now on the other clip here and just go to here and do the same thing. I do recommend once you have charged your battery, you notice how many milliamp hours were taken into it, and you take a record of that. You associate it with your battery of the specific serial number. This is to make sure that all your 9 cells are really connected, that they're in good status. You know, if let's say half of them internally were disconnected, well, maybe you only going to get 20 ampere hour into your battery, and so on.